Welcome everybody to the 40th, yes, it's the 40th episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones configuration live stream, where we're going step by step through all the configuration of Dynamics 365 and configuring the Waterdeep Trading Company in the fine realm of Faerûn in the city of Waterdeep. So if you all haven't just stumbled upon this, then yeah, what we're doing is we're going out and we're showing you really step by step how to get the base configuration of Dynamics up and running, or Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations up and running, to be specific. And over the past previous 39 episodes, we've been working through all the financials, and in the last episode, we moved on to supply chain management. And what we're doing now is we're going out and we're configuring some of the product information management and getting products into the system and looking at how we can manage those. So today what we're going to do is we're going to work through the second module within the bare bones configuration guides for the product information management. And we're going to build some products, which I'm super excited about. Supply chain and is my favorite area. Not that finance is bad, but I like supply chain better. And also by starting to create these products, we're going to get a lot more color in our demo environment or in our lab as we move through. So that's just a little bit of a preamble as to what we're going to be doing today. And what I'm going to do here is, let me get this set up properly, is we're going to be working through the lab environment that we've been setting up. And if you've been watching some of these episodes, then you're probably familiar with these lab environments. What we're doing is we're building everything up. And in the last episode, we went out and created some of the inventory controls. Now, what we're doing as we set this up is we're following through on the bare bones configuration guides. So these are the guides that we've created that really show you step by step what you need to do in order to get the system up and running. So as I mentioned before, we're going out and we're working through the products and services module, and we'll go through this slowly and talk about things as we move through. But we're going to start with creating products and maybe showing you how you can import on products and explore some of those items. But let's jump over there and start looking at what we're trying to do. So products are the backbone of really the supply chain management. So what we need to do is we need to create definitions for all of the products that we're selling. Now we're going to start off and we're going to create some simple products. We're not going to create dimensional products. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to create a product that we can use. And later on, when we work through this, we're going to create some more elaborate products and work out how dimensions work and how we configure dimensional products. But we're just going to start with a simple product. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a backpack in the system. We're going to look at how we can do that, and then look at some of the configurations we've got, and then also how that works. So we're going to be doing this within the release product. So why don't we just jump into that and look at these products and look at how we can create them. Now, I've seen people go out and create products a number of different ways. And I'm going through the menu to do this to start off with. And I'll show you how I like to create the products, and then we'll talk about some of the other variations that we've got. But one of the things around products is that products can either be products or product masters. And a product is your typical product that you're working with, which doesn't have dimensions. It's not. It's just a simple product. Product masters are more of a baseline product that has other configurations associated with it, so that then we can create variants of those. Where all the products and the product masters are really the parent level of the products. And then what we do is we have released products. So a released product is something that we release to a company. So we sort of create these templates, either a product or a product master, and then we release them to a company, in this case into the Waterdeep Trading Company, so that we can use these inside of the organization. Now, the reason why release products are important is, say, for example, if you have multiple legal entities, then they can share the same product or product master, but have company-specific release products that are associated with them. So some of the documentation I've seen is people go out and you have to create a product or a product master, and then you go through that process, then you release it down to the company. That's a lot of work. So I go straight to the released products when I want to go out and create a product. And this is going to take us to really our catalog for the Waterdeep Trading Company for the product. And I'm going to create a simple product here, and I'm going to create a backpack. And what I'm going to do is it's going to start with the release product wizard for us, or the quick sheet. Now, this is going to create either a product or a product master at the header level, and it's going to create the release product at the company level, so we don't have sort of like two steps that we need to go through. And I can either create an item or a service, and I want to create an item in this case. Now, what we want to do is we want to give this a product number. Now, if let me just look here. I've got the list of all of my products here, and let me hide some of these so that we can see them. And let's hide these cells. So this is my template for going out and setting up products. And we've got all of these different products that are here. So we've got clothing. These are all just the clothing items that we have. And as you can see, I've got an item number that's associated with it, which is a intelligent item number. Now, you may want to do this, you may want to have some sort of intelligence in the products that you're putting into the system. But I'm going to go a little bit more loose in my product naming, and I'm just going to use a product name that's in there. So the product number is going to be backpack. And that's about right. And I'm going to say this is going to be a leather backpack. So I'm going to add leather to the end of it. Or let's just leave that for now, and we can talk about that later on. Now, the product name is going to be a backpack. And then the search name is going to be, let's see what I had for my search name. I'm going to just say backpack here. Now, the search name is a way that we can go out and we can easily search for products. And sometimes I go out and if we're going and looking for a product, then we can look by the product name, we can look by the product number, we can look by the search name. And what I can do is I can create sort of like an intelligent search for our product. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to be a little bit clever here. And the search name that I'm going to use is going to be, I'm trying to find this, let's do storage. It's a storage device, and then it's a backpack. So say, for example, if I created more items, which is maybe like a container, a box, or so forth, then we could do a search name for a box or storage and see the backpack and the box together. So that's just something I like to do, and we've got the item number and so forth. Now, the item model group that we have here is that let's move through. Okay. So the way that we're going to store this is we're going to store it by location. Okay. And also we're going to track this. We're actually not going to track this in any way. Notice I sort of hesitated on the item model group. We don't have inventory configured yet. So we don't have the item model group or the item group, which is required for the inventory. When we get to the inventory management, then we're going to configure these in the system. Also, we don't have any buyer group. So because we haven't configured purchasing. So when we go back into the purchasing area, then we're going to configure buyer groups, and then we're going to link our products back to these. Now, the next, what we need to do is we need to say, how do we inventory this, or what unit of measure do we inventory this in? How do we purchase it? And also, how do we sell it? And I'm going to choose the each unit of measure here for my inventory, purchasing, and sales unit. Now, I could go out and say that I purchased this in dozens. So in other words, I have to buy it in a batch of 12. But I'm not going to be that clever. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then then what we also have is we have the other information which we don't necessarily need to set up right now, which when we go out and set up other modules, and we'll be able to do it. For example, we could say, who do we purchase this from? And also, what is the price? And I'm just going out and trying to find... let me just look over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find... I'm trying to find the price that I've got for my backpack. And let's see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, tracking dimension groups. I'm actually going to go over to the public server that I have here. And so you all can access the public server. It's just public.add365.com. And I'm going to go over and look at my reference database and look at my released products. And what you'll see is you'll see a fully fleshed out version of the system. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going out and I want to make sure that my purchase price is correct. And so what we've got is we've got a backpack here. And if I go and look at the backpack, so notice we've got a lot more items here. Then if I look at the purchase price, let's look here. Okay, so the purchase price is 1.6. I think that's 1.6 gold pieces, if I'm correct. And then also the sales price, do we have a sales price that's in here? It's 1.6 as well, so we'll just leave it at that. So let me go back here, and you've sort of got a sneak preview as to what we're going to be configuring. But I'm going to set the sales price to 1.6 and also the inventory price to 1.6. So we'll see if this is Faerûn gold pieces or it'll probably be in the Faerûn standard dollars. So this is probably 1 silver piece per backpack or something around that. I'll need to do the math. But we've gone out and we've now created our product, and we have a product in the system. So now that we've got this, then what we can do is we can then move on to the next step, which is we can manually update the product details. So we can go out and we can, you sort of saw me do this before, but I can go back to the server, and now I can go out and I can modify some of these items. So if I wanted to change the search name, I could change that. Just as a little bit of a point, you'll notice that there's a item number here and a product number. So these are both the same. The item number is what I've what I'm actually working on right now. So this is a term that I always get mixed up. But the item number is the item that is in the warehouse, in the current company. The product number is the parent product. So if I click on the product number, if I'm right, yeah, then what we're going back is we're going back to the product details, and we're seeing some a description of the backpack here that we can maintain. So this is sort of like the global information and who's the owner of this and some standard information that we need to maintain here. And then we've got the company specific information, which there's a lot more detail here. Say, for example, if I wanted to go out and change this, the price on this. So we may be able to purchase it for 1.4 Faerûnian standard dollars, and maybe we want to sell it for more in the system. Then we can go and we can maintain this information directly here within the larger screen that we've got. So let's save that. And we've now got some more information that's associated with this. Notice there's also a lot more information that we have here for selling, for managing the costs, and for planning, and all of these things that we'll set up as we move further on into the product details. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit of color to this. So what we are going to do is we're going to add a product image. And we should be able to do this here. And if I go and look at the information tab that's over here, then there's actually an image placeholder here. So what I can do is I can say I want to create an image or associate an image with the product. And if let's look back here. And I'm just going over to another window. And if we look at the file browser that I've got here, just trying to find if we look at my file system, then what you'll see is that we've actually got a number of sort of product images that we can track here, and we've got some backpacks. So I can look at this this backpack here, for example, and I'm going to copy this. And let me just copy that. Let's move back to the server. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this image. And it's going to pop up with an item that has a list of all the product images that are associated with this. I'm going to create a new one. And then I'm going to browse and try to find that image. And I'm going to go to my pictures. And I'm going to pull in the article that we've got here. And now we've got the backpack image has now been associated with the product itself. So now when I return back, then what we're going to see is we're going to see the backpack along with the product. And if I go back to the product details, I think that if I hover over any of the fields, let's see if I can do this. Okay. Yeah, I think it's when we go and create an order or so forth, then the product image is going to show up in that information box within the system. So this is what we've got now is we've really got the core base information that we're setting up here. Now we also have a lot more information that we can maintain here for our product. So for example, we've got information on attributes, which we'll get to, categories. We can have conversions for this product that's associated with it. We can look at purchasing and selling information, inventory, engineering information. So when we go out and create a bill of material associated with this, then we can manage it. And also we've got the planning and the costs and all of this information that's associated with this item. Also, I think that if I now go into the files, the attachments for our product, then we're going to see the image that's here as a file attachment. Now, let's see if there's any. So we're going to be storing this away actually in Azure itself. And then I think if we set this attached item here, then this is going to be the primary item for this product as well. So let's go on to the documentation. We may stop here as we move through. And what I'm going to do in the next live stream is I'm going to talk about how you can import and export data within this. But let's try something that worked earlier on. Because what we did in the vendors is we went out and used, let's see if we can find this. I'm going to see if I can open this up inside of Excel, and we'll see if we can create a new product. This is directly within the system. So I'm going to, what I did is let's try this here. I went out and I opened up the released products open in Excel option. So this will create a live link back to the released products. The items is going to go back to the parent level. So it's going to be that higher level up in the system. But we'll see if we can import in some products the quick and easy way here. So I'm going to enable editing, and this is going to enable the add-on for me. And then let's see if I can sign in. Okay, that's giving me a small error with my sign-in, which I'll go out and I'll check and I'll try to work out why that's happening in the system. So let's hold off on that, and we'll work on the importing in the next live stream. So I want to keep this all these presentations down to below 30 minutes so that we can go out and manage that. So what we've done here is we went out and we created our first product. So that's pretty neat in itself, because what we've been able to do is we've been able to create our first product. We've given it a search group. We've associated it with the method that we want to track and inventory this, which was the earlier section in there. And also we added a picture to the product, which gives it a little bit more personality in the system. So if anyone has any questions about this, so the creation of a product or some of the mechanisms around the creation of the product, then just text us and send us a message either on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on where you're watching this, and we'll get back to you and try to answer your questions. And if you like what we're doing here, then don't hesitate to support us on Patreon. The Patreon support helps us keep the server up and running, and also helps us get some more resources for other trainers so that they can go out and they can create their own content based on the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 sort of platform, and a whole slew of other things. And if you want to do that, then you can scan the QR code there, or you can also go out and go to patreon.com/AD&D365. Every gold coin counts to keep this project up and running. If you want to see the labs that we're creating, then you can go to AD&D365.com/start, and you'll see all of the labs, and also as we publish out the newer versions of the labs, and you'll see those there as well. So with that said, what we'll do is we'll close off today, and hope this was interesting, and I'll see you on episode 41 of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration live stream for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So let's close off now.